Yo, what's good with this? Your boy Micho, man, Master Energy, the Rizzo One, aka Mr. Third Eye. And I'm here with my very first reaction video, man. Hey, we coming back harder, coming back greater, we coming back bigger and better. Hey, and with divine timing, gang, and divine intervention, you hear me? Out the gate. So listen, man, I hope y'all like this video, man. Make sure to like, man. Make sure to comment. Make sure to subscribe, gang. You feel me? Subscribe if you believe in yourself. You believe in yourself. Subscribe to the video, gang. Cause I believe in you too. Now let's get to the video.
Man, that's crazy.
You got it.
Yeah. Hey,
Run up on it. Run up on it.
You better. Hell no.
Run up on it.
What the world?
Run up on that Joe too.
No, I'm not running. You run up on it.
It's already fuck with my car, man.
That's crazy. You see that? That's crazy. Yes, it is.
Go run up on it. That's a lightning class. I forgot that you get your ass.
It's a lightning class. It's a lightning class. Gonna strike you. These is awful familiar though. Yeah, I don't know if I seen them in games or TV.
St. Mary from Egypt. She was a very promiscuous young lady. Fornication, all in the holy city of Jerusalem. She comes to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre where the cross is going. Doors open. She goes to walk in. She cannot pass through the doorway. She looks and she sees an icon of Mary and Jesus. Instantly hears all of her sin. And she says, I repent. I won't do this anymore. She devotes her whole life to just serving Christ. 40 years later, there was this priest during Holy Week. He would walk through the desert outside of Jerusalem. First, he sees this figure in the desert, and there was a woman. She knew everything about him. He said that she was so wise in the scriptures, and she says, I don't know how to read or write. Mary has taught me everything about Christ.
Holy moly.
She said, for 17 years I was battling with lust until it finally broke, and so now my whole life is just dedicated to Christ. All I ask of you, you don't come back out here until next year, and please bring me Eucharist, the Holy Communion, because I've never taken it. It comes back after a year.
I guess when let's say if you was out in the desert, you feel me, and you just happen to come across somebody, I guess the energy would give it away, you know? I guess like if you get a bad vibe off that person, it's like, damn, I don't know what that was or who that was, but I ain't get away from them. But you meet a good person who could be like considered like an angel or something like that, I guess you would get a good vibe. I don't think it'd be that hard to tell. But I don't know, then again, it's hard. You can't just be trusting people out in the desert. You out in the desert, don't you be trusting nobody you see out in the desert? And it's only you and them for 30 goddamn thousand miles? No, boy. No, boy.
Takes communion for the first time. A year later comes back, finds her dead in the exact same spot, but in the ground written beside her says the date of which she died and bury me here. So she had been laying in that spot for a whole year after taking communion, but her body was completely uncorrupted, but the ground was just super hard and super rocky. Lion walks up to Mary and licks her feet, and he says, surely the Lord has sent you. Can you help me dig this hole? Immediately the lion digs the hole.
That's
and
crazy.
He buries Mary. And so,
what?
Yeah.
Você consegue captar as vibrações. Vem até nós. Ou não vem à noite.
Mano, pior que mexe esquisito demais.
Parece samba de linda.
Yeah, I've been seeing these
Giant
videos a lot, whatever. It's a distance, so it's kind of far away. You can't really tell exactly what it is.
Mas é interessante. Olha, ele tá no meio do morro. Olha ali, olha ele no meio do morro.
Ele vai ser camufladão,
A gente tá no quilômetro e meio daqui, né?
Olha só, ele tá descendo agora. Tá descendo.
Cara, menos de um minuto. Olha só.
It's far away. It's too far. But they too big to be that distance and still look big.
Have you ever seen this future map of the United States of America? It was made in 1996. And the guy who made it is this gentleman right here. It's a futurist. And he had a lot to say about what he thought the next Earth changes would be. And he showed his depictions of it in the United States of America. And it's quite crazy. Many of the areas that I have lived and do live look to be pretty much with water, unfortunately. Goodness. I lived in Florida. Florida's pretty much not there. I used to live over in Cocoa Beach area. Lived in Houston. That's not there anymore. It looks like it just takes out most of the coastline there in Texas. Louisiana's pretty much gone. It's crazy. And then you can see the Great Lakes just become one huge bay. And a little bit of Ohio gets skimmed out. So we might be all right over there. And then Indiana gets crushed, and so does Illinois. So that's Chicago over there would be done too. Michigan's islands, that's crazy. And then look at Canada. I mean, just the Hudson Bay becomes...
The thing about this video too is like, I don't know if y'all been, in tune with what's been going on, but New Orleans is like basically underwater now. And with this one right here, it kind of gives some kind of, I ain't gonna say what context to that, some confirmation to this map right here. I don't know, he said a futurist. I don't know what time this was, but he said 1966 or something like that. But for them to have this drawn up and the way it is right now, and to have the planet going and the map really in reality going in a sense similar to this map, it's crazy. It's very crazy.
To some huge, little ocean area up there now. And then when we go further to the west coast, California is pretty much gone. Looks like this is where he talks about the first and second fractures, like earthquakes or whatever. Nevada's gone, Utah, most of Colorado, half of Arizona. It's pretty wild. And then Mexico going down. Like you can see all of the different areas where the coastlines are all inside, so it likes the water is raised, I guess. I don't know. Just thought this was just interesting. Then go up the coastline here, and then if you go to Alaska, look how much Alaska's changed. None of those islands anymore. Again, this is just one of his theories. I think he said this was supposed to happen already or something, so obviously it didn't, but I don't know. Just thought it was pretty wild. Wanted to share it. And you can zoom in to see all the different details that he talked about with the pole shifts and early warning signs, Alaska, new lands he showed as well. A lot to say. Had a lot to say. You can see, looks like he did a couple of the maps. Anyways, just thought it was interesting. Wanted to share this with you, especially because I've been doing stuff on the Great Lakes, and there was a time on the maps where there was no Great Lakes, and then now there's Great Lakes. So who's to say that this couldn't happen, right? Just saying, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. You can see what happens on the coast here. A lot of that coast has changed, but not too much. Interesting. Oh yeah, up there it has. Anyways, as always, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a part of this. Comment, let me know your thoughts on this one. And stay curious, y'all.
The War Department says more files will be released soon.
I stay in North Carolina.
UFO experts and top researchers have been investigating aliens for years. Their sources say dozens of crashed UFOs have been recovered, and what they found inside, shocking.
And do people think that there's one type of non-human intelligence that's visiting the Earth, or is there many, many types?
People who have been involved in recoveries have said
there are at least four separate types.
Now, I have not had direct access to that, but I believe the people who I talked to.
4 different types of life.
4 different types of life.
4 different species of aliens. Another scientist called them Greys, Nordics, Insectoids, and Reptilians. All of them have 2 arms and 2 legs, just like us. Experts speculate the Reptilians are scaly with long tails like a lizard. Insectoids look like a praying mantis. The Greys look like your classic movie alien, and the Nordics look like a regular Swedish guy, but 7 feet tall. We haven't seen the evidence, but Pete Hegseth says more evidence is coming, and there are a lot of believers in Congress.
I have seen evidence in a skiff that leads me to believe there are things we cannot explain, and I have observed things that are of non-human origin and creation. That's my opinion.
Releasing the files isn't easy. They've been hidden for years, and a lot of people want to keep it that way.
Problem we have right now is the deep state's fighting the president on release, and he kept his word. And I suspect some of our not so friendly comrades in some of our alphabet agencies are slow walking a lot of information. It's about power, it's about control, and that's kind of what runs Washington.
So why is our own government fighting so hard to keep these secret? Well, a dozen scientists have either gone missing or died. Now, we don't know if that's related, but people are scared to talk.
One I thought was going to do an interview, and then a couple days before sent me a message saying, after further consideration and long talks with my wife, I decided I'd be forfeiting my life if I participated in your interview. And I thought that was like very unsettling message to get, obviously, but also very specific.
That ancient Chinese mirror shows you what's on the back of the mirror. Yeah, no, these are real. Is it transparent, metal? What are we looking at? Because these are 2,000-year-old mirrors created by the Han Dynasty. These are the same dudes that made 8,000 terracotta soldiers, covered them in quantum paint, and then buried them. Something was going on in this time that I don't really think that we can fully grasp. Astronomically aligned pyramids, just threw them up, put their whole calendar on these things. Sometimes they were cymatics, which these are sick.
I always wonder how them people
part
got
of
down
temple
there,
culture
stayed
everywhere.
down
You could
there
put
like
rocks in the ground and like record the frequency in a pattern of the earth, or birds chirping, or your voice chanting stuff. All right. How do they work? So they're regular mirrors, but they're a little convex. But to the naked eye, you just can't see what's really going on. This thing is a piece of glass, but the internal crystal lattice of the glass has been warped so that a hologram appears on the wall. Kind of a similar concept with the mirrors, except they use microdents in the metal to create warping of how the light gets reflected. What this does is it draws out a picture using shadows. So what you're seeing on the shadow is light getting focused into these lines, and then the gaps are the shadows. This creates the picture. Egypt also used tricks like this where hieroglyphs could be projected onto each other within the temple. This vehicle called the Merkaba, every human had one, where you could explore the realms of consciousness in a multi-dimensional way. The Tibetan equivalent is called the Rainbow Light Body. Both were used as tools to kind of break reality a little bit. The lengths that these guys went to teach this stuff, insane. Must have been really important.
Roman concrete is one of my favorite historical mysteries because it is magic. It's the reason why so many Roman structures are still standing today, like aqueducts or the Pantheon. The dome of the Pantheon is almost intact 2,000 years later. But for centuries, the secret behind Roman concrete was lost, and now we finally found the answer. We found that Roman concrete self-heals, meaning that small cracks will seal naturally without any human intervention. The concrete was mostly made out of volcanic ash and quicklime. Notice how quicklime is chunky. It isn't as finely grounded as other types of lime, and for the longest time scientists thought this was because of poor quality materials or poor mixing practices. But obviously Romans wouldn't make such a beginner's mistake. This was intentional. Since quicklime wasn't fully grounded, unreacted chunks of lime called limeclasts would form in the mix. It's these white spots. When cracks would form in the structure, water would seep in, dissolve the limeclast, and crystallize it, and this would stitch the cracks. So there you have it, a concrete that would only be made stronger with time.
Some kind of unknown substance was found in New Mexico in the past couple hours, and 3 people have already passed away. Yeah, this just happened, and that whole area is getting quarantined. New Mexico police say 3 or 4 people were found in a house near Albuquerque. They were all unresponsive and quickly taken to a hospital. The reports say they were exposed to some kind of unknown substance, along with 23 other people. Yeah, 23 other people too. So this just happened a couple hours ago. Today, Wednesday, May 20th. And by the way, those 3 or 4 people they found unresponsive, at least 3 have passed away. And there's a lot of concern for the first responders, the heroes who ran into that building to help those people. Because at the time of making this video, no one knows what they were exposed to. And whatever it is, it caused 3 people to pass away and 23 others to be hospitalized. I'll keep you up to date as more about this comes out. Shabadoo booshkies, shabadoo.
Y'all, this video is so weird. So apparently this was taken from a police station security footage. Now, pay close attention to the humanoid shape above the house right here. You'll see it looks like it's running towards the camera, but then it just shifts and turns into what looks like a bird. Now, I've slowed this footage down to kind of analyze it more, and I'm telling y'all right now, whatever this is, isn't a bird. Right here, it looks humanoid, and then when it shifts, it looks humanoid as well. Here's the shift in its form, and when it flies towards the camera, it just kind of looks like it's constantly changing. The big question here is, what is this thing? I've seen a lot of people saying that it could be a skinwalker or maybe even a bruja changing shapes. But whatever this thing is, it makes no sense. What would you do if you saw this thing outside of your house? Let me know. And what do you think this is?
What if the Grand Canyon isn't just a natural wonder, but a cover for something much older? Most people are told the Grand Canyon is simply the result of erosion over millions of years. But a 1909 newspaper article tells a very different story. According to the article, an explorer named G.E. Kincaid claimed he discovered a hidden cave deep inside the canyon. Not just a cave, a complex filled with statues, tools, and hieroglyphs that closely resembled ancient Egyptian artifacts, carvings, symbols, stone chambers. But here's where it gets unsettling. The Grand Canyon has been studied for centuries, so how could something like this simply disappear? The article claimed the discovery was quickly taken over and never publicly investigated again. Some researchers believe the artifacts weren't Egyptian at all. They suggest they belong to an ancient advanced civilization often associated with the Anunnaki. According to the theory, this same civilization built the pyramids in Egypt and massive structures across North and South America. When they left, they took their technology with them, leaving behind monumental architecture and unanswered questions. Mainstream history dismisses the story, but the article still exists. And until the site is fully explored, one question remains. Is the Grand Canyon hiding more than just layers of rock? Or is it hiding a chapter of human history we were never meant to read?
Isn't it crazy to think about the extremely significant places from history that were just covered up by dirt, and they just decided, no, it's not really worth keeping up with. The Roman Forum, the capital of Rome, what people would argue is the capital of the world, not worth keeping up with. We'll just let it get buried by time and dirt. This area was so buried by dirt that later on they built Christian churches there that were floating off the ground. The doors were floating off the ground, and since they have excavated it, there's now doors floating like 15 feet off the ground because there was that much dirt covering these structures from then. Or like the Sphinx. No, the Sphinx is lame. What is it, one of the oldest things maybe ever? No, we just let that get covered up by dirt. We don't even really know. We don't know what's underneath it. We don't know what the feet look like, and they had to re-excavate it again in. And then things like Chichen Itza, it was like the largest Mayan city of all time, maybe one of the largest cities in the Western Hemisphere that we know of. I mean, we're talking like 35 to 50,000 people were in this city. They just let that get covered up by the jungle and taken over, and no, it wasn't really worth keeping up with. It was just, you know, one of the largest pyramids in the entire world. How did this happen? How did people go from having the most significant places in the world to them just being covered up and forgotten about? It's so crazy to think about this. Do you guys realize that we didn't like rediscover Pompeii until extremely recently? I think it was like sometime in the 90s they figured out that Pompeii was beneath the ground. They're thinking that they barely even scratched the surface of what they are excavating from this town. They're thinking that less than half has been discovered of Pompeii. So all these places are so crazy. Why is the Sphinx so old? We really don't know. I'm starting to think that like there are parts of history that were really not being fully taught for some reason. And you know what? In a society that now today is outsourcing our main competitive advantage, which is critical thinking, to machines, it kind of makes sense that, you know, humanity would repeat this. And that's not what I mean. I don't mean repeat this as in like there was some sort of advanced thing that took over before, but I'm just saying that like we are doing that. Like humanity's competitive advantage is thinking. We are replacing ourselves with machines. We're not thinking anymore. What are we doing? It's just strange to me. But what do you guys think? Maybe I'm overthinking.
Like, I don't know, I wouldn't mind
After the 15th time that I watched this video of these people looking at this UFO, I was like, I gotta share this with everyone. Watch this video, and then I want to talk about what this could possibly be at the end of this.
Look at her, she gonna put It's a UFO for real, y'all. That is crazy. Y'all, that's crazy. It's a UFO for real, y'all.
It's a UFO for real, y'all.
I promise y'all. Look, we got all these people. There ain't no damn street light. My uncle talking about that street light. That ain't no street light, bro. That's a UFO.
Hey, y'all let me know which one y'all is. Y'all the street light or is it UFO?
This a fucking street light right here.
I have watched this video so much today. I love this video for so many reasons. Okay, so this video is actually like making its way around on social media again because people are posting it saying that this video happened on May 20th today. And no, I've seen this video before. I don't think that this is AI. This is the only person that I know that could do something like this would be Incog, if you've seen any of his videos. Okay, so what is this? It's definitely not a street light, because she showed you a street light.
Fucking street light right here.
Other people were saying online that this could possibly have been like a drone with like a direct light pointed down at the ground. Make up your mind. Personally, I think it was a legit UFO. You know, I think that's an authentic video. I don't think it's a recent video. I feel like it came out like a year ago. But what do I know? I'm a guy and a half. This video is for entertainment purposes only, because I say that now because...
Y'all, that's crazy.
No, that is crazy though. It's hard to tell what things be, man. You can't get up close to it. Shit, if I look a little hot too, man, I'm sitting in my car right now. I'm sitting in the V, going to Re. Yeah. I don't know, these books like this though, some of these books I be wondering just like, how do these people look doing this stuff? Like, these pages on this book is fucking crazy. And I don't even see no words, I just see images. I'm just trying to figure out what is it? Somebody probably could read that too. I ain't gonna care, somebody probably could read that. Had to be a different time though. Had to be a different time back then. something being told right here. I just can't. I can't tell you. I can't tell you. And I don't really want to tell you because this book was just weird. This book weird as hell. I don't want to tell you. Let me flip the pages out slow. The artistry is crazy though. I don't know what had him, what type of influence he was dealing with. But talent, you can't deny the talent though. The talent is talent. Talent is talent. You can't deny the talent.
What's that? Oh, a farmer catches a helicopter dropping thousands, if not millions of ticks into his farm, and things are getting a little bit wild. Tell me more! This is wild. A farmer's going out, kind of going through his land, and he notices a helicopter coming up, and it starts to drop all these ticks. So that video is going viral and circulating right now because he caught people in the act of doing this. The helicopter hurried and flew away, but things picked up a little bit quickly. After a few days of these ticks being around, the man actually started to find certain things that were dead on his property from these ticks. For example, he actually came across a moose on his property that was killed by these ticks. Now, there were people saying that this wasn't actually happening and that these were tick boxes that were showing up on farmland, but that's not what was happening. They're actually dropping thousands of ticks into these farmers' fields, and now they're finding them and catching them doing it. Okay.
I guess is now they said it's 7 feet, but then I heard a guy say none more than 6 feet, and that is it. How do we know?
Is that from Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, it's Nordic, dude. These are all potential.
That's not Gandalf?
No. Let's get away from this. I don't want these Nordics playing any sports, though. We got to ban these Nordics from our sports.
This is my first time. Oh, okay. The rest.
Yeah, I've seen a few.
8 feet, but this isn't right because
we ain't 8 feet. Yo, are these real or are these AI generated? Why am I only seeing this for the first time?
These are not real. So take them off the screen, please. Take these off the screen, please. Jeez, we got Shams confused. I just saw it.
I might have to
stop praying Manus thing's gonna eat our insides.
The Manus thing, that's straight pump kick to chest.
Maybe.
Okay, we can't let that mouth get anywhere near us. The little one, not even worried about this thing.
Come on. No. Yeah, unless they have telekinesis.
The reptilian could be a problem.
I'm worried about the reptilian one. He's got armor on.
Yeah.
He's got like an actual exoskeleton.
In Nordic, we've seen these before. Okay, we've seen Nordic before. Yeah. You go to some uppity neighborhood with a blonde family.
They pose no
go back to plays Thor in Marvel.
So the reptilian one is really who we got to maybe rally the others to join us to fight against, it appears. But everybody else?
Does that say 8 feet tall?
Yeah.
You said 6 feet. That says 8.
The guy that did the interview who said the sizes of these things, I listened to the hearing myself. Okay, this weekend I had a lot of time on a plane. I was at the American Academy of Country Music.
Sure.
He said 6 feet, all of them. About the same size as us.
Oh. That Nordic one plays striker for Man City. I've seen him.
So good. He won a thing the other day.
Yeah, always does.
He won the balloon?
No. Oh. No, the door is not out yet. But what we're saying is, if these aliens are real and they're out here, Shams might be one of them, to be clear.
No more if, brother. They're here.
They are, aren't they?
Are they fighting each other, though? Are they in the same team? How does that work?
And who's talking to them from our side?
Yeah, let's turn them against each other.
Well, that is a good point. You said we do need to go right to the reptilians, aka the Nordics. Like, they hate you guys. They despise
they've been talking
we got to do some real human stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like super Homo sapien stuff.
Correct.
He's like, hey, we got to drop some drama.
Exactly.
Because I think we're probably the best at that, if I had to guess. Probably why we've been held back so much tech-wise is because how much we are like, hey,
how much drama?
Let us work this a little bit.
They need to sit down with Andy Cohen and do like a season recap and then
That's what we're talking about. That's a good idea.
Yeah, they're going to start some real shit.
That's where we can get them, because they've never felt those feelings before. Reptilian looks over at the Nordic and goes, "You said that? Really?" Right?
Yeah.
And then we're like, "Wow." I couldn't believe it either.
I can't believe it.
Oh my God. And then his tail turns. We jump over his tail.
Yeah.
You know, as he's turning around and talking to the Nordic guy. And then we go to the little one. Like, "Hey, little one, they said that you're just basically a little bitch." Turns off his power. All of a sudden, we're humanizing this thing.
Exactly.
What are we best at? Causing chaos. Turning people against each other.
Yep.
That's what we got. Trick.
Some of the most fascinating old world photos that you can find are those from Washington, D.C. Even the supposed construction photo. Like, I've never seen a construction project like this. This was the National Cathedral, looking more like weathered ruins. The construction site isn't even clear. Now I could spend hours going on and on about each photo, all the anomalies I see in them, but I encourage you to take a look at them closely. Like this poor sky edit here. Washington Monument's always another great one to look at. You can spot dozens of alterations in the photos in each of these pictures. Look at the age and coloration from the monument, and the base itself looks very weathered on the bottom especially, and what appears to be a giant doorway there. Of course, the base was buried, but also if you look at the top, it's like scorched on these half-built pictures. And of course, always the whited out skies, or the really terribly edited skies. I believe to cover up airships, flying machines, and other anomalies in the sky that would discredit the narrative. But DC looks the same as a lot of these cities. Muddy, nearly empty, massive, beautiful buildings we're all told are new construction. They're all looking very old, weathered, and alone in muddy fields. Like I said, take a look at them closer. I'll post these all on my Telegram. You can zoom in and let me know what you find in some of them. My opinion, it looks like they're unburying and renovating a capital with a new established narrative. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
1950s, a man arrived at an airport in Japan with a passport from a country called Torrid, a place that doesn't exist. When officials showed him a map, he pointed towards the country of Andorra, which is between the borders of France and Spain, insisting that his country Torrid had been there for centuries, suggesting that he was either a time traveler or from another dimension. His documents seemed official, but after being detained overnight, he vanished into thin air from the cell that he was in. Skeptics think that the man from Torrid story was inspired by a real incident that happened in 1960, where a man named John Allen Zegras was arrested in Tokyo, and he had held this fake passport with a fake language on it from a fake country in Africa. So that may have been the real origin of the man from Torrid. Lastly is the Dodelston messages. In the 1980s, before public internet, a couple in England began receiving messages on their home computer from a man calling himself Lucas, who claimed to be living in the 1500s. And the way that he wrote to them was in this old-fashioned Middle English style, where he also explained, as they were able to decipher his language, that he was communicating with them through a mysterious light box or an impossible communication device. But then things got even stranger when another group appeared to be communicating with them on this computer, claiming to be from the year 2109, and they were monitoring this conversation over time, like they were the overseers and connecting these 2 points in time in the 1980s and the 1500s, like it was some grand experiment. Now that's it for this list, but there's a lot more time travel stories out there, so if you want to hear more, definitely give me a follow, leave a comment, and we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, well, I appreciate y'all for staying for the vid, man. It's my very first reaction video. I hope y'all like it. I hope y'all, engage with me. Let me know if y'all have some videos. Send them in. If you want more videos, just let me know. I got other content going. I got other content coming. So just stay tuned. And again, man, I'm grateful, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe if you believe in yourself, man, because I believe in you.